Change continues. From executive producer Robert Redford, Chicagoland, Thursday night at 10, 9 Central on CNN.
There are many theories surrounding the disappearance of Flight 370s, and back with me now is CNN's Richard Quest. He's an aviation expert and host of CNN's Quest for Business. I think, Richard, people are a little bit concerned that we're disagreeing with each other, and we actually do all the time. I like that you disagree with me. I'm also joined by Jim Bernazzani. He is a former deputy director at the Terrorist Threat Interrogation Center, and David Succi is the author of the book Why Planes Crash and Accident Investigators Fight for Safe Skies. Thanks to all of you for joining us. So, Mr. Succi, it often takes a great deal of time to get to the bottom of an aviation disaster, as Richard has pointed out here. It is surprising. Is it surprising that we don't know more at this point?
You know, there is actually a lot that we do know, if we count what we do know. In an accident investigation, we need to make sure that we start with just the things that we do know and not speculate. The things that we do know is that the aircraft was turned around. We also know that they weren't communicating with their home base, which is very typical at this point. Not only that, it's an operational demand of Malaysia that if the aircraft needs to turn around for maintenance, that they communicate with Malaysia before they take that maneuver. So we do know that that did happen, and it appears to me that that was done by human hand. So at that point in time, I believe that that aircraft was in control by the pilots. I don't believe that there was anything as far as a flight breakup. I don't believe that there was a flight breakup in flight, because if there had been, we would have found the aircraft by now. When that happens, in my investigations, when there's an in-flight breakup, you have a stream of debris that goes for miles and miles, particularly at that altitude, should it have broken up then.
But don't you have a stream of data too, Richard? And you and I talked about this before the show. You have a stream of data that happens, usually that occurs before crashes or if something happens, and you know what happened. Even if you haven't found the plane or any debris, you sort of know what happened to the plane. That is not the case in this particular incident.
Well, yes, because the problem with the theory that's just been talked about is we don't really understand the full implications of that turnaround, or how far it was, or what the full radar track. The Malaysians haven't yet released all the details on that. And what worries me is that we don't have any telemetry or information from the aircraft itself. Now, the Malaysia Airlines was specifically asked, have you received ACARS messages? Have you received any form of communication from the aircraft? And they said no, according to unnamed sources at the airline. What I think is absolutely correct is that what we don't know and what we do know are sort of starting to come together in this regard. And your previous guest is absolutely spot on when he says what we do know takes us further down the road.
Yeah. Hey, Jim Bernazzani, can I bring you in here? Because authorities have dismissed, there's one claim of responsibility here. It's an obscure group called the Chinese Martyrs Brigade. How unusual would it be for an act of terrorism to go unclaimed at this point?
Well, it would be very unusual. I think the fact that nothing has been eliminated indicates that we're looking at all aspects of this event, and that the FBI, with our law enforcement partners, we do have intelligence that needs to be pursued relative to this Mr. Ali, the purchase of the tickets, the stolen passports, and the like. And that intelligence will drive operations which will glean more intelligence, and the cycle begins. What's of note is this latent, this thumb fingerprint in one of the tickets sent to the FBI's fingerprint database. That database, Don, holds the records of 70 million individuals. And of those 70 million individuals, there's 73,000 known as suspected terrorists. So, and that's automated, so it should be done fairly quickly. And if we get a hit, there'll be tremendous leads from that hit.
So, David Succi, you know, we're hearing that officials have some doubts that this is terrorism related. Why are they moving away from the theory that this is possibly terrorism?
Well, I believe that the reason they are is, again, because of what we do know about the aircraft and what was going on. And Richard, if you've flown that leg, you know that there's a lot of legs in between there, a lot of space in there where there's no communication at all. You don't talk to anybody for hours and hours. The fact that they were within the first hour or so of the flight, that wouldn't be typical. But the fact that there is at times